Good morning, rise and shine. We are here with Green Nurse Kathleen and Sherri. And here we go. We're going to start the morning off with one of our favorite videos to get the day started.
We changed the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Canum that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
Growing in health, growing in cannabis. Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, where we do bring that hope and inspiration for growth and healing. We are here to change the dialogue around what it means to feel good. We're here to change the stigma around cannabis and other plant medicines. So welcome everyone. Today I'm broadcasting live from Torrington, Connecticut from my mom's house. And I just want to mention that I had my mom's story on Wednesday night. You know, at the end of 2018, she had finally come on the cannabis bus. And so I broadcast that, I call it From the Vault. So it was an old show in 2018. And she came out of the closet and talked about her experience using cannabis. So right now she's still in bed. Mama, I love you. You'll watch this later. She helped me set this up last night. So really, really excited to be here with my mom and spend some time with her. Truly, you know, spending time with family members, the gift of time. When you think time has been taken away from you, you start to appreciate every little minute that you have with people that you care and love about. So a big shout out, want to get a big shout out to Jamie Rollins and her family at the Barking Dog Bed and Breakfast in Middlebury, Connecticut. So cute. So I was at Jamie's house on Wednesday night and Thursday for Thanksgiving, where I was able to spend time with Jamie and her family, including her amazing dogs, Duke, Daisy, and Finnegan. So I just want to say thank you very much to Mr. and Mrs. Rollins for having me in your home. And one other big shout out before we get started, Nurse Jamie's Auntie Eileen. Okay, we went to Auntie Eileen's house. Everyone's got to have an Auntie Eileen. So Auntie Eileen had some nice little edibles going on and some gummies and our own little home grow. So Auntie Eileen, if you're out there, I just want to say thank you so much for including me in your festivities for the holidays for Thanksgiving. So today I'm really, really excited to have a co-host with me, Kathleen Graham, Nurse Kathleen Graham from Michigan. And so she's part of our amazing Green Nurse Holistic team here at Holistic Caring. And so Kathleen, you know, for the new fans and the new people out there, tell everyone where you're from and what you're doing to change the paradigm of healthcare, because you do work both in the cannabis space and in the conventional system. So welcome, Kathleen.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show. I enjoy being here. And we do. I had an Aunt Gloria at
Gloria.
our family. Yes, our Aunt Gloria. So I am from Michigan, and I am cannabisnurse.com, and I help guide people through cannabis and CBD and help develop their wellness plans. I am a part of Holistic Caring. I'm proud to be a part of Holistic Caring and be one of the Green Nurses also. And inside traditional healthcare, I am going back into something I did way back in the day, back in 2009. I am proud to say that I am going to be teaching nurse aid training. And so in this teaching nurse aid training, it is teaching our nurse assistants how to do direct personal care on our elder patients that are primarily in a long-term care facility setting. And in this, we teach not in depth, but we teach a little bit about anatomy. And inside the classroom, there are posters that have the different body systems. And so I thought it was really interesting that the endocannabinoid system was missing from the anatomy book and from the poster. And so as a teacher, I ordered the endocannabinoid system poster. I put it up in the middle of the classroom. There's actually a little section of the wall that comes out like this, and I have the poster specifically hanging on that wall so it pops out a little bit.
That's
And
awesome.
updated our little anatomy packet. It's just a packet that has a brief description of each body system. And on the front cover, I put a picture of the different body systems, including the endocannabinoid system. And then I included the endocannabinoid system in that anatomy book. And the director came in to look at the classroom, and she was really surprised and did not even know that there was an endocannabinoid system in the body, and thanked me for updating the book. And it's just that we have to change the paradigm. It's just a part of normalizing the most important system in our body.
Yeah, truly. And I think that is so exciting. I really, really love, and this is just like a message for other nurses that are out there that are learning about this and that may be fearful. You know, Kathleen is here in the conventional system, bringing cannabis education to people that want to work with patients at the bedside, new people. And as we all know, and we're going to talk about this again, you know, a little bit later in the show, the endocannabinoid system is that most important system. So it makes sense that she would be teaching all of these nurses and nursing aides about that important system, because these nursing aides are going to have direct hands-on care with these patients. And as we know, we talk about it over and over again, every single thing that we do or don't do affects the endocannabinoid system. Everything that we tell our patients what to do or don't do affects the endocannabinoid system. So we have a responsibility. Oh my God, I'm just like, that's just really amazing. So what I want to do is I'm going to go find some of those pictures that I think you posted on your Facebook page and share them. So this is just a really great message, and a message that needs to be spread. We as nurses have an obligation to share this information, and we want to help you. We want to help you do that. We want to help you to have your voice. And that's why we invite you all to come into our community. Green Nurses at Holistic Caring. We will help you. We will educate you. We will empower you. We will help you. We will elevate your voice. Because once you go down that rabbit hole of learning about cannabis as medicine, there is no going back. Right, Kathleen?
That is true. And there's one thing I wanted to mention why I feel like it's important. Most people don't think about cannabis or CBD products inside of a long-term care facility. But it's important to note that more and more pharmacies are carrying CBD products. When you look at this, in order to get into a long-term care facility, it has to go through a pharmacy. So if your pharmacy is carrying a CBD product, your doctor can write a prescription for it, and it can come right into the long-term care facility and be given right to our elders there.
So that is really amazing, right? CBD. And we're going to talk a lot about CBD today. After we get into our hug and nug for the morning. Yeah, that's really good stuff that they're starting to allow that. Really powerful. Now, and we know that cannabinoids, CBD in particular, can help bridge the gap from what people aren't getting from traditional or conventional care. And even the pharmaceuticals can help make a lot of the pharmaceuticals work better and decrease them over time. So happy Friday. Today is November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving. People call it Black Friday. I'm calling it Green Friday, because Green Friday to me is I'm going to just chill out with my family and enjoy the plant as much as I can and just be in a space of gratitude for everything that this plant's given for me today. So I want to give a big thanks out to all of the co-hosts for this week, because it was the holidays. People are busy. People are volunteering their time to come onto the podcast. And I just want to say I'm really, really grateful, because your stories, your life, your journey, and what you've created from the plant inspiring you is absolutely amazing and needs to be shared. So Monday I had Green Nurse Denise Costello on from Energized Living. She practices Energized Living in the 3 Ps: prayer, protection, and play. Really fun. We talked all about that on Monday. I had Christy Chapman on Tuesday. She's a respiratory care practitioner, and she's created a CBD inhaler with metered doses. And so we talk a lot about that. It is an amazing inhaler. It's a water soluble. Literally, it looks exactly like, I wonder if I have it. I don't have it. Looks exactly like an albuterol inhaler. Really, really powerful stuff. And she has created this, patented it, and it's something new and different. And she's one of our CBD marketplace stores. And so she joins us every Tuesday, and she talks a lot about what she's seen in the space. She's also a practitioner in the medical system that has actually overcome multiple chronic illnesses as well. And she created the CBD inhaler based on a need, which I think is great, because what do we do is health professionals, specifically nurses, we source out what patients want and need, and we bring it to them. So Carrie Lee Laura, Green Nurse Iowa, big thanks. Daily 5 to Thrive has been very, very powerful tool in how we educate patients, all about sleep, exercise, sunshine, movement, nutrition. And all of these things are essential and crucial for when we are upregulating or nourishing our endocannabinoid system. And then yesterday, I don't know if y'all joined me yesterday, but yesterday's show was really, really fun. I rocked it with Jamie Rollins, at her home. We broadcast live. We just had a fun, playful time. We talked about gratitude. We talked about what this plant has brought us. Jamie has been in the space for a long time. She's also one of the OGs. She's part of Holistic Caring as one of our supervising nurses. She's also in charge of the nurse affiliate program at Nurse Grown Organics, which is also one of our Green Nurse approved CBD stores. And Jamie is also the chief nursing officer of Codependence, and we talked a little bit about plant entheogens yesterday. So yesterday was a really, really fun show. And so if you didn't catch it, I highly recommend it, especially for High Day. So today, what we're going to do, Kathleen, I'm really, really, really grateful for you to be here, for you to share your hope and inspiration for growth and healing, because everyone does have a very unique story. And so what we do on most mornings is we like to start our day off with a little bit of prayer, or a little bit of positivity, a little bit of inspiration. And so today I thought we would read, like I said, today is November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving. And I thought I would pull up a reading from The Language of Letting Go, Daily Meditations for Codependence. Right? But it's really good stuff. It really helps you to look at things from a different perspective and shed light on some things that might be going on in your life. So I'm going to let Kathleen start with that reading. The reading is exactly from 11/26. It's dated, and it's The Language of Letting Go from Melody Beattie. So what do we got here, Kathleen?
Look how far you have come. It is good to stop and feel pleased about what you have accomplished. Yes, it may seem that the change we desire has been slow. At times, change feels grueling. Yes, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But we are right where we are supposed to be. We are right where we need to be. And we have come so far. Sometimes by leaps, sometimes with tiny steps. Sometimes kicking and screaming all the while, sometimes with sleeves rolled up and white knuckles. We've learned grown, changed. Look how far we have come. Today, I will appreciate my progress. I will let myself feel good about what has been accomplished in my life.
Right? Peace begins with me. Inhale, Ananda. Yeah, I am going to feel good with what I've accomplished in my life. And literally, probably, besides giving birth to my children, using this plant and healing, coming off of pharmaceuticals and being able to step into the space as a nurse in a different way. Wow. Never, ever thought that would happen, ever. Right. And there's a lot of people that are out there too, that, things might not be going well. And, you might be suffering. There might be some things that's going on that doesn't feel good. But just appreciate one little thing that you've done today, as simple as you opened up your eyes. And things are constantly changing and evolving. We are all growing. It's one thing that we can that we can count on is change. We're growing in health, growing in health, growing in wellness, growing. We're here to hold each other's hand and walk each other home. And so, it is those tiny steps, those little tiny baby steps. You think about it, we roll before we crawl before we walk before we run, and then it just evolves from there. And then eventually we're driving a car. Yeah. So I like this reading. It was really good. I'm really, really grateful for this opportunity. So today we're going to roll in. Wow, the time goes by so fast. Today we're going to roll in on, hangovers a little bit, the endocannabinoid system, hangovers, and not just talking about hangovers from booze, but maybe just tap a little bit. We're going to primarily talk about alcohol, but talking about food interactions, our energy being zapped, the emotional hangover that people sometimes have, when they're spending time with family that they may not want to spend time with, that they're forced spending time with, just different interactions that happen when we all come together as a family, and people may trigger you, you may get exhausted, so it's just, what did you eat? What did you drink? And who are you spending time with? And how is that affecting how you feel today? So if you don't feel good, there is help. And let me just tell you, there's a lot of different ways we can help our bodies, and supporting and nourishing our endocannabinoid system is one of them. But today we're gonna pop into the endocannabinoid system and what happens when we drink too much, and then how we can help our bodies get through that period of not feeling good when we feel like we're hungover. And so we're going to tap really quickly into what happens when we drink alcohol. And then Kathleen's going to tap into Hangover Help, which will be great. Hangover Help. So when we drink alcohol or acute alcohol exposure, what it does is it increases the endocannabinoid system levels in the brain as a protective mechanism. So you drink alcohol, the endocannabinoid system turns on, and it increases 2-AG levels that have neuroprotective properties unless you're having an endocannabinoid deficiency. So if you don't make enough of your own internal endogenous cannabinoids, your body's ability to protect you from acute alcohol exposure goes down. Okay. And as we know, we make components in our body like the plant. We have an endocannabinoid system, not because of the cannabis plant, but because we make components in our body like the plant. And anandamide and 2-AG are some of those components. So when we consume alcohol, alcohol is metabolized, you guys ready for this, to acetyl halide. It's a carcinogen and a mutagen, I'm not even saying it right, that causes harmful effects to all of our vital organs. So just look at your embalming yourself with something that's not very healthy. Alcohol all depletes our bodies of B vitamins, and B vitamins are critical and essential in bathing our central nervous system. And oftentimes, we have to get B vitamins from the food that we eat or supplement. And alcohol can prevent the absorption of some of those B vitamins. Overconsumption of alcohol can be toxic to all 11 organ systems, especially over time. And those messenger signaling systems that affect our endocannabinoid system, telling our body to either do something or not do something. So over time, alcohol dependence is linked to the down regulation of the 2-AG, the internal endogenous cannabinoid, and even the CB1 receptors, right? So 2-AG is the most prevalent endocannabinoid in the brain. But what happens is long-term use of alcohol can deplete that tone and can affect all of those physiological processes that modulate the endocannabinoid system. So the endocannabinoid system, if you just imagine that umbrella that we talk about, it is our body, and it's interacting. The spokes of the umbrella are all of our organ systems. All 11 organ systems are immune system. And the fabric that connects the umbrella together are those messenger signaling systems. The endocannabinoid system blankets on top. And the bottom line is we need to be producing enough of our own to keep our umbrella going up and down nicely, to keep our body in balance. So cannabinoids act as a pleiotropic, which means, it's a big word. I want to say thank you for Elizabeth Mack for introducing me to that big girl word. And pleiotropic means that cannabinoids are working on multiple different physiological systems all at the exact same time. So getting back on topic here, how can we take care of our endocannabinoid system? What can we do? What can we do when we're feeling hungover from consuming too much alcohol? And we're going to get into Hangover Help right now. And you are on, Kathleen.
Those are good facts to know about alcohol. And excuse me, some of the things that we can do to help balance this is sleep. We can sleep it off, but it's also important to know that alcohol consumption interferes with our ability to sleep. And because of that inability to sleep, it could contribute to our hangover symptoms. It can make us very fatigued, irritable. It could have headaches. A decreased quality of sleep can make hangovers worse. So if you did not sleep well last night, make sure you take a nap today. Make sure you start the morning off with eating a good breakfast. Eating a good breakfast can help maintain your blood sugar levels, and we know alcohol affects our blood sugar levels. It can provide important vitamins and minerals and reduce the symptoms of a hangover. A low blood sugar could also contribute to some hangover symptoms such as nausea, fatigue, and weakness. Make sure you have a breakfast that has high protein too to get you through the day. Stay hydrated. Drinking alcohol can cause dehydration, which may make some hangover symptoms worse. Staying hydrated could reduce hangover symptoms such as thirst, fatigue, headache, and dizziness. Now, it's important to remember too, don't drink a full glass of water when you first wake up and have symptoms. Make sure you have that breakfast first and hydrate while you're eating breakfast, because having that water on an empty stomach with those symptoms could make it a little bit worse. First, it's important to remember that alcohol is a diuretic and that it can deplete our volume in our body. So this means that it increases the production of urine, leading to the loss of fluids and electrolytes that are needed for normal functioning. Second, excessive amounts of alcohol can cause vomiting, leading to even further loss of fluids and electrolytes. So when drinking alcohol, a good rule of thumb is to alternate between a glass of water and a drink. Though this won't necessarily prevent dehydration, it can help you moderate your alcohol intake. Afterward, stay hydrated throughout the day by drinking water whenever you feel thirsty to reduce your hangover symptoms. I think those are some really good tips on how to help us deal with hangovers.
I think so too. And you guys all know we're going to get into cannabis in a minute, but because that's one of our favorite things to talk about, but we also need to talk about everything else because it's important, right? The endocannabinoid system. So one of the things in my research that I did is I discovered that there are supplements, even though research is limited clinically, some studies have found that certain supplements that are made can ease hangover symptoms. Although further research is needed, always have to disclose that. So red ginseng was mentioned. One study found that supplementing with red ginseng can reduce blood alcohol levels as well as hangover severity. Prickly pear. I don't know if you guys have drinking any prickly pear. It's pretty tasty. But some evidence has shown that this type of cactus could help treat hangovers. A 2004 study found that prickly pear extract decreased hangover symptoms and cut the risk of hangover severity in half. So prickly pear. Ginger, and ginger makes sense to me. One study found that combining ginger with brown sugar and tangerine extract improved several hangover symptoms, including nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Borage oil. One study looked at the effectiveness of a supplement containing both prickly pear and borage oil, and it's an oil that's derived from the seeds of the star flower. And this study found that it reduced hangover symptoms by 88% in participants. And then there's, it's called urethro, which is also known as Siberian ginseng. And one study found that supplementing with Siberian ginseng also alleviated several hangover symptoms and decreased the severity of the hangovers. Now we're really going to get into something, one of our favorite topics. So these are things, eating, sleeping, hydrating, supplement, getting micronutrients in, taking it easy, don't beat yourself up with a bat, and then cannabis. So I saw someone, Eric, hi, Eric out there. Eric's like, yeah, you're hungover, smoke a joint. Absolutely. And there's multiple different ways that you can get it in. So if you're really, really nauseous when you wake up, doing a little bit of inhalation, you think about it hits immediately, goes right into the receptors, can work with serotonin to help to balance. Our serotonin is made in our gut, and so it really can help decrease that nausea. And then that can help you to, get a little bit of food in and get a little bit of your tinctures in and start to hydrate more, just to start working with those symptoms. So we're going to talk a little bit and get in specific about cannabis chemotypes. And some of the trials and studies that I found in Cannakeys, basically they talked about there's 4 different chemotypes. One is THC dominant, one is THC CBD equal amounts, one is CBD dominant, and then the last one is CBG dominant. So basically some of these animal trials that we found in Cannakeys stated that chemotype 3, which is the CBD rich, so CBD based products that have all of the plant in it, just a trace amount of THC, may reduce alcohol intake, reduces the need to drink alcohol, and prevents relapses in drinking. And so this is and how they monitored that was by reducing anxiety-based relapse triggers. Okay, so you think about that. When you're triggered, a lot of people wake up the next morning and say, I'm going to bite the bullet that shot me last night, and may go straight to drink something else to decrease that. Well, that can help, but overall, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. It means I didn't even want to include that research in there. They said initially it may help, but over time, relying on alcohol to get over a hangover is really, really detrimental to your health. So CBD for the win to start off. And there's some other things that we that are here in our notes, Kathleen, about what CBD can do as well as protecting our brain.
Yes.
Yeah, it can function. I loved this too. So one of the things that we talked about earlier was how when we're acute alcohol exposure, our body starts to produce, to try to protect the brain. So CBD may function as a neuroprotectant, preventing, one of these research studies showed, binge drinking, and so binge drinking can cause acute, it's called ethanol-induced brain injury. So CBD may, function as a neuroprotectant.
That's really important during that time.
Yeah, especially for kids. You think about kids that are experimenting with alcohol. I look at CBD as a supplement. And high school students. Whether they're exercising, they're in sports, they're active, they're experimenting. I'm a big fan of CBD, especially with these kids that are, that may be engaging in risky behaviors. We want to protect those brains, neurochemistry.
Yes.
Other thing too, which I found was interesting too, working in the brain, is it helped to reinforce, it reduced the reinforcing properties or people that are craving alcohol. So CBD reduced cravings or the motivation for wanting to consume alcohol. And so the other thing that it mentioned was that CBD exerted relevant benefits on stress, anxiety, and impaired impulse control. So you think, a lot of people are very impulsive. They grab for what's going to make them feel better, because after all, we all want to feel good, right? We all deserve to feel good, but choices make a difference. So CBD has helped people to be able to control those impulses to grab for that, decrease the need to consume something unhealthy. So they also, other research showed that brief treatment of CBD produced long-lasting therapeutic effects in animal models. So they did study animals in relapse. So I don't know how they do this, but it's a really interesting concept, how it did produce long-lasting therapeutic effects in 2 animal models in preventing relapse of consuming alcohol. And then the other thing too with liver disease. So we know, people get nervous about consuming cannabinoids. But if you think about it, if you have alcohol-related fibrosis of the liver, it's been demonstrated that CBD has been able to reduce that. It reduces inflammation and oxidative stress, in regards to alcohol addiction. And then we talked about too, just earlier, the neuroprotectant properties of CBD, such as it may reduce the loss of nerve cells, by extension, alcohol-related brain damage in the central nervous system. So reducing helps to decrease the loss of those nerve cells. So that whole thing about, your brain frying, from using cannabis is just really, is a myth forming, because your brain really gets pickled on alcohol as opposed to being nourished by cannabis to get you back into balance. So what about some of the other comorbidities we have here?
In addition, comorbidities such as PTSD and alcohol dependence in patients with a variation of the gene that codes for the endocannabinoid degrading enzyme FA may lead to a decrease in stress adaptation abilities, and as such may represent a novel target for future testing and prevention. Another ECS engaging compound was signaled out. This is my favorite terpene, beta-caryophyllene oxidate, has shown significantly reduces involuntary ethanol consumption in test animals. So that's another component of the cannabis plant, but you can also get beta-caryophyllene without consuming cannabis at all. It's in our black pepper, in our cinnamon. I absolutely love this terpene. It's so wonderful. And it is the first terpene that we know of that connects to our endocannabinoid receptors, CB1.
Yeah, I love that. It's just so great. I mean, and you think about too, some of the clinical trials that have conducted on humans, one indicated a potential role of the endocannabinoid system in comorbidities of PTSD and alcohol dependence, while the other human trial demonstrated that cannabis plant constituents may reduce inflammatory states associated with alcohol use disorder. So cannabinoids. So here's the bottom line, okay? Alcohol is toxic to all 11 organ systems in our immune system. Over time, it really does a lot of damage. A lot of people, I'll just give an example. There's some older folks that I know in my life who are consuming alcohol and smoking cigarettes, and they'll say, oh, I'm healthy. I'm not in any medications. I'm doing great. And then all of a sudden they hit 80 and they have cirrhosis of the liver. They have prostate cancer. And these are people that, have that I'm working with. And it's just, they never thought, because they kept thinking, because I'm so healthy now, I'm going to continue on that road, that trajectory of health. And they're not. So everything that we do or don't do today affects how our body is going to operate and function tomorrow and in the future. So it is really, really important that you do take care of the most important system in your body. So this is why we want to invite you all to come into our community. Right? So, and because we care about you, we know that there's a lot of people out there that are new to cannabis, that may be plagued with stigma, that don't want to speak up, that may have questions, and that may be afraid. So we have a platform that is off of social media. It's uncensored, it's private. Your anonymity will be completely 100% honored. There are patients that are there, providers across the globe, and nurses. And so we have a free introductory to cannabis course, free patient portal and support group, and a book club. Cannabis for Health, Become Your Own Coach. Elizabeth Mack, if you're out there, I love you. And she's written this book, Become a Coach. And people will be like, oh, I don't want to become a coach. Yes, you do. There's no one more important than you. You want to be your own coach. Let me tell you, when you figure out how to make cannabis work for you, holy schmoly, it is a game changer. You become sovereign in how you take care of yourself. You get to know the plant, you get to know the body, and you become an expert at who you are and how you want to show up in the world, and the plant does that. So really, really grateful for the community. All of us nurses are in there. You can reach out to us privately. We put all of the, Denise is in there, Kathleen is in there, I'm in there, Jamie's in there. And we're just providing lots of hugs and nugs to get you started, on your journey using this plant. The other thing that Elizabeth has done, Elizabeth, I love you again. She really cares. She's created all of these amazing programs, all of these self-paced programs at Holistic Caring, and she's putting them all on sale. So these programs are amazing. They're for providers, they're for nurses, they're for doctors, and they provide continuing education credits. Right now, we're in the process of getting global accreditation, so we will be able to offer college credits for all of the courses. So those are for providers, for coaches, for nurses. And then we have self-paced programs for patients. And we do it, we have the Introductory to Cannabis course, which is complimentary, and then you can look at different disease processes and cannabis. So she has it broken down: autoimmune in cannabis, chronic pain, cancer in cannabis, neurodegenerative disorders, autism, epilepsy, migraines, et cetera, et cetera. And so these programs are really, really beneficial. They're self-paced. You can learn them at home. And like I said, we're here for you. We're here for you. We care for you. We love you. So make sure you join us in the community. And let's see, I think that's it. Oh yeah, and the other thing too, we have a CBD marketplace. So Green Nurse approved. We've been talking about this, really, really important that people are making these amazing medicines. People are selling these amazing medicines. There's a lot of great products in the market. However, who's really vetting them? Who's really investigating them? And so as nurses, we're the most trusted profession for 19 years in a row. And we're developing a team of nurses and pharmacists and doctors that are truly evaluating these products to give that big stamp of approval. We're looking for purity and potency, cannabinoid profiles, terpene profiles, residual solvents, contaminants, USD organic, whole plant, as much as possible, to help people. Looking at the companies that are creating this, where are they getting their plants from? How are they testing them? How are they cultivating them? What is their mission? What is their vision? Do they really care? Do they have a story, right? Do they have a story, a compelling story of why they're doing what they're doing? So we look at all of that because it's really important for you all when you get started to have a product that has efficacy. Would you agree, Kathleen?
100%. It is one of the most confusing things when consumers come to me and they're like, which CBD product is out there that's best for me to consume? It is something they are looking for, and having these Green Nurse approved products makes it a lot simpler for us doing consultations.
Yeah, it does help. It really does help. And Jamie, one of our nurses, is in charge of one of the programs that we're educating on, Nurse Grown Organics. So this has been an awesome show, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Green Friday. Right, Green Friday. And remember, you do have the capability. You do have the capability. You do have the opportunity to change your life. And we're here to help you. We're here to hold your hand until you're ready to let go, because there's no important than you. You all deserve to feel good, and we love you. So remember, everyone, what it's all about. It's about living your best life and helping others do the same. See you next week.